Hello again. Hello and good afternoon to all of you who are
Good
here.
afternoon, Coach Ben.
Good afternoon and welcome to our 2025 Big Baby Final Round Mock Review. So this serves as your practice in preparation, final practice in preparation for your competition for the Big Baby 2025 final round. So we have also with us international students. We have from Indonesia. Maybe there are also some from Vietnam and other neighboring countries. So welcome to everyone. Now, may I know if you were able, if you were given this set of paper, the mock review, or no? Have you answered these problems ahead or not yet?
Yes, yes, Coach.
Yes,
Yes, Coach.
yes. Okay. Thank you. Now let's begin. Oh,
Oh,
yes, but okay. Before we proceed with the problems, let's have our house rules first, just so we could have a smooth and an effective review session. So you always mute your microphones unless you're asked to mute your mics. That is the only time that you can unmute, okay? If you have working cameras, then turn it on, as what most of you are doing right now. So I could also see your faces while we have our session. And if you have questions or answers, or if you want to share anything, or if you want to ask something, feel free to do that by using our chat box, okay? And of course, the most important thing, be sure to listen carefully during the discussion so that you can take something from it and use it during your competition. All right, so in Big Baby, if you didn't join the three session review, it has a different format. So it has three sections. It's divided in three sections. We start with section A. This is from questions 1 to 10. Then you have section B, 10 to 20. And then the last section, section C, questions from 21 to 30. Because in every final round, for IMO, you will be answering 30 questions. Okay. Now let's start with the problem number 1. How many circles are there below? May I know if you have an answer for this problem?
25.
25. What about the others? Yes, this video is recorded. This session is recorded so that you can also view this one maybe sometime if you have spare time. If you want to review it again, you can watch this video later on. Now your answers were 25. What else?
25.
25. Okay. Anyone who could share how they got 25? What did you do to get 25? How did you know there are 25 circles in the figure?
25.
Did you just count everything and saw 25? Yes, Emmanuel David. Go ahead. You can turn on your mic.
Because there is 5 in one group and there is 5 groups of
Very
5 circles.
good.
So 5 times 5 is 50. I mean 25.
25, exactly. Wow. Thank you so much for saying that. So if you observe the figure carefully, of course, you can count everything one by one since all of them are circles anyway. But to get the answer as quick as you can observe it properly. They're actually arranged where some circles are grouped together, right? Just like this one. All of them are grouped together. And if you count all the number of circles here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5. And these groupings are just the same with this one, and this one. They all look the same, right? And all of them also have 5 circles each. So if you know how to multiply, that means 5 times 5 because you have 5 groups and then each group has 5. Or you can do addition as well. You add 5 fives. 5 plus 5 plus another 5 plus another 5 and then plus another 5. So all in all, if you add all of this, that will give you a sum of 25. 10 plus 5 plus 5 is 10. 5 plus 5 is another 10. So 10 plus 10, that's 20 plus the remaining 5. That's how you got 25. Okay. So that's how you solve it in a smart way and quicker way as well. Next, what about number 22? I mean, number 2 rather, sorry. Okay, what about this one? Arrange the number from smallest to largest. For example, 8, 5, 3 is rearranged to 3, 5, 8. Meaning you have to arrange them in order. Putting in mind that you have to first put the numbers that has the smallest value. What would be the arrangement of the numbers? Let's see your answers in the chat. 1, 3, 4, 6, 9. Okay, 1, 3, 4, 6, 9. Very good. So I expect, or I believe that all of you knows how to count the counting numbers, right? Or you memorize the counting numbers. So our counting numbers in the counting system or in the number system are arranged from the smallest until, of course, smallest to largest. So you just have to follow that. You start with 0, but mostly 1, 2, 3, and so on. So you just follow that arrangement or pattern here. 1 would comes first, followed by 3. You have the 4, 6, and then you have the 9. Okay, from smallest to largest, that is just your numbers in the counting system. The arrangement is the same. So you have this one. You can do something like this, or you can just put all the numbers together. Oh, sorry. You have to put a comma or a separator for each number since all of them are different numbers. Okay, just like you can put a dash or a comma. Still, 1, 3, 4, 6, 9 put all together is a different number. So put the comma properly like this. Okay, because if you put it as 1, 3, 4, 6, 9, this is a number. It's like a 5-digit number. It could be confused as that one. So you may want to do it like this. Just put a comma before or after each number to indicate that they are different numbers. Okay? Very good. Next, what about number 3? I think number 3 is quite the same with number 2. This time, we're going to arrange the numbers from the largest to the smallest. Look at the example. They actually gave it here to you. You have to put a comma after each number. All right. So how are we going to arrange the numbers here this time? Let's see your answers. Very good. You're doing it already. Okay. Make sure that you put the commas every after number. 5, 7, 4, 2, 0. Very good. So this one is the opposite of number 2. This one you have to put the bigger numbers or the larger numbers first in the leftmost part. So you have 7 is the biggest, followed by the 5. Next is going to be the 4. And then you have the 2. And finally, you have 0. Okay, that is the correct arrangement. Now, if this is challenging for you or It's quite hard to arrange from largest because we usually, again, count the numbers from the smallest, right? You can just do it. You arrange the numbers from the smallest to largest. For example, 0, 2, 4, 5, and 7. And then just flip your arrangement. Okay, so you put this one, you write this first instead, followed by that, followed by 4. You just copy this, but you start from here, from the rightmost part, and then 2, and then 0. This way, you can order your numbers perfectly. This is very helpful, especially if the numbers given are far from each other. I could say there's like a 7, there's 11, there's 20. So it may be harder for you to order them properly. So you do something like this, okay? Next, what about number 4? What about this? What is the symbol in the box to make the math right? 4 box 3 is equal to 7. What's the symbol? Very good. Plus, or the cross sign. Yes. So if you observe your math here or your equation in exact terms, you can see 4 blank 3 equals 7. Symbol means we are looking for the operation. Either it's plus or minus or even times or multiplication. So how do you make this 4 and 4 and 3 become 7? If you do subtraction, 4 minus 3 would be 1, right? So that is wrong. Next, let's try multiplication. If ever this was multiplication or times, which rarely happens in your level for sure, that is going to be 12. Now, the only option that we have left is the addition. So if you try the addition here, 4 plus 7, you will have, 4 plus 3, you'll have the 7 as a result. So that is correct. It's just try to substitute the possible symbols or operations that will fit correctly in the equation. And your answers, you're all answering it right. Very good. Next one, what about number 5? Okay, the same problem. What symbol should we put between 9 and 3 to get a 6? Let me see your answers in the chat. Minus. Okay. So the same from number 4. We are looking for the right operation here. So again, you can try plus. This will not make sense. 9 plus 3 is 12. And also, if you logically think about it, this is 9. The answer part is smaller than one of the numbers here. Right? Smaller answer. Usually, when you do subtraction, the answer is smaller than one of the numbers in the left side. Right? The bigger number should be here, which is the same as this one. So that gives you also a clue that maybe this is subtraction. And this is really subtraction because 9 minus 3 is equal to 6. Okay, let's go back to number 4 and see the difference. Look at that. In here, the answer part is bigger than any of the numbers here in the left side of this equal sign. That means the operation you need to have is addition to have a bigger answer. On the 5th question, if you look at this, the answer is smaller. So when the answer is smaller, that tells you that the operation is subtraction because the bigger number is actually in the left side. That's also one of the factor that you have to remember always for this type of problem. Next, what about number 6? Okay, what about this? Oh, this one, we need to find the number, not the operation. So what number should we put in the box to make the math right? Let me see your answers. 9. Okay. Now this time we can't guess. We can't have a guessing game here of the operation we need to solve. Okay, so if you have an equation like this, where one of the numbers in the left side again of the equation is missing, what you're gonna do is subtract the two numbers given. You're going to do subtraction because the number here is bigger than the answer. You're gonna do subtraction. So 27 minus 18. 7 minus 8, we know that it's not possible, cannot be. So we're gonna borrow 1 or 10 from the 20. So this will become 1, and then your 7 will be added with 10. That's how it became 17. 17 minus 8 is 9. 1 minus 1 is 0. So therefore, the number here is 9. Now you have to make sure that you check if this really makes sense or if this really makes the equation correct. Is 27 minus 9 equals 18? Actually, yes. Okay, because these two are just like the addends to get 27. So yes, this is correct. Okay, so if ever, remember, you see an equation where there's a bigger number here, and then there's a minus sign after that, there's a blank or a missing part here, and you have the answer, you have the difference. All you need to do is subtract the two numbers that you can see. Okay? Remember that. Next, what about number 7? Okay, arithmetic. Find the value of 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 8. What is the value for this one? 17. Hmm? For this one? Okay, 17. Sorry. Okay, now since everything is addition here, then we are confident that we just have to add everything. Now to add this, we can pair the 2 and 8 first, because usually in addition, your technique to answer or to get the sum in an easier way is to pair two numbers that will give you a sum of 10 minimum. Okay, any number that ends with 0. So 8 and 2 is one of the pairs that can give you a sum of 10. So we're going to pair them together and just pair the 4 and 7, because they're quite smaller numbers and you can add it easily. So you have 4 and 7, that's 4 and 3, that's 7. 8 plus 2, that's 10. Combining this together, you have 17. Okay, but it's also okay if you do 2 plus 4, 6, 8 plus 3, 11. It's all okay because after all, this is addition. So as long as you counted everything correctly and you added every number correctly, then the value will not change. You will get the right answer. Next one, what about number 8? Another arithmetic expression. 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7. What's your answer for this one? What's the value? 16. Okay. Very good. Now, looking at the expression, excuse me, you can see that again, we can actually find another pair of numbers that can give us a sum of 10, which are 7 and 3. By the way, to those who don't know, you have to try and memorize these pairs of number that can give you a sum of 10 from the one-digit numbers, okay? Just have the 1 and 8, 1 and 9, 2 and 8, 3 and 7, 4 and 6, and 5 and 5. So whenever you see these two numbers together in an addition sentence or expression, you can pair that up, and that automatically gives you a 10. Next is you have here remaining 5 and 6. So we're going to group it together. 5 plus 1 plus 5. That's 6. 7 plus 3 again, automatic 10. Combining these two, you'll have 16. So that is how we got 16 as the answer. Very good. Next. What about number 9? By the way, if you have questions or clarifications, feel free to chat on the chat box, okay? Next, what about number 9? Find the value of 28 minus 5 minus 7 minus 3. What's the value? 13. 13, 1 and 3. Okay. Now for this one, unlike the, yes, very good. Unlike the first few expressions earlier, where we do addition for everything, this time there are minus signs, but mostly minus. So yes, definitely we're gonna do subtraction here. Also, in math, we have what we call the integers. Have you encountered or heard about the word integers or integer? So these are your numbers actually, but these are the numbers that has, you call them sign numbers. So we have two kinds. It's either positive number or a negative number. So the rule in integers is when you combine them, the operation of integers is when you combine them, you can combine the numbers that has the same sign. So in a group of different kind of integers or numbers, please mute your microphones. Okay. So in a group of numbers like this, where you need to find the value of a lot of combined numbers, we're gonna apply the rule for integers. The rule for integers are you combine numbers that has the same sign. So in this case, we're gonna group 5, 7, and 3 because all of them are negative numbers. And then whatever their sum is, we're gonna subtract it from 28. Now, as early as now, I want you to learn this concept already because when you go to primary 1, primary 2, most of this, you'll encounter more of this. So that's as early as now, it's good that you know this already. It's not just simply we're subtracting it, we're also learning the concept of integers. So that's why we're grouping these numbers because they're alike. They are all negative numbers. We're gonna get their sum, which is 10 plus 5, 15. And then we are going to subtract it from the different kind of number, which is a positive. By the way, in integers, a positive number is a number that has a plus sign or just the number itself. Say, for example, 1. So this is positive. You can also write it as a positive 1. That is just the same. Subtracting this 2, you will have 13. That's how you got your 13. Okay, that's the concept behind it. Now let's try something like this. So hold on, let me check if number 10 is just the same. Okay, let's have a practice for this one. What about you try to solve this expression? Okay. Try to solve this one. Find the value. 9. What about the others? Were you able to get the right answer? Just try to solve it.
9.
9. Okay, so for this one, very good to those who tried to solve and answer it. So again, you learn the concept of integers where again, if there are so many numbers that you need to find the value, and then in those set of numbers, some are negative or some have a minus sign before them and some have a plus sign before them. You group the ones that are in the same kind or the ones that has the same sign. 6, 5, and 1. And then the 14 and 7. So this is the difference from here, right? This one, there are two positive numbers. So we're going to group them also. We're going to get their sum. And whatever the sum of these two groups, you're going to minus it or find its difference to get the final value of the expression. 14 plus 8 would be 21, while 6 plus 5 plus 1 is 12. So 21 minus 12 is equal to, put it here, equal to 9. So that's how you got the 9. Very good. Okay, let's proceed to number 10. What about this one? Figures below follow a pattern, which is the one on the line. So you have circle, like a diamond, square, triangle. If we were able to draw the figure, which one would be here in the blank? Square. Okay, let's see if that is the correct answer.
Square.
Square. Okay, yes, very good. So square. Why square? Of course, we have to observe the order of the figures here to get the pattern. So you start with the circle, this one, the diamond, the square, and then the triangle. And then it goes back again to your circle, to this one, and then this one. So it's actually being repeated again, which means, and it's the same with here, the same order of figures. So the pattern is just the first four: circle, diamond, square, and triangle. So just observe which figure is after another. Okay, so for the blank, let's go to the blank. It is the figure before the square. I mean, before the diamond, and then after the triangle. So look at that. Look at here as well. Every after the diamond, you have the square. And every figure before the triangle is the square. So that makes sense. That is how you got square as the answer. All right, so just make sure that you observe the pattern carefully. Now let's go to section B. We'll start it with question number 11. A sheep has 4 legs. How many legs do 3 sheep have? May I see your answers in the chat? 12. Okay, what about the others? 12 legs. Okay, so for this one, you're asked to determine the
12.
number of legs. Yes, it's 12 for 3 sheeps. Considering that one sheep, so when you a sheep, it means one. One sheep is equal to 4 legs. So if you have 3 sheeps, to get their total number of legs, all you need to do is add the 4, which represents one sheep again, 3 times. Because each 4 represents the number of legs for one sheep. So if you have 3 sheeps, then you need to add 3 fours as well, right? So 4 plus 4 plus 4 would be equal to 12. Now I know, since you guys are so smart and advanced, you may be practicing multiplication also. So you can also do multiplication for this case. You just multiply the number of legs for one sheep times the number of sheeps. So that's 4 times 3. That's just basically this, right? You added the 4 3 times, which still gonna give you a 12 product. So the same. That's how you got the 12. Next, let's proceed to number 12. Rather, so let's see what's the question number 12. A pig has 4 legs, while a duck has 2 legs. How many legs do 2 pigs and 3 ducks have? What's your answer for number 12? 14 is the total number of legs. What about the others? Okay, 14. Let's check if that is really the correct answer. Now let's solve this together. One pig, let's just write the pig. For a pig or one pig, it has 4 legs. Okay. For a duck, it has 2. So this is their number of legs for each one of them. Now, if you have 2 pigs, that means you just double the 4, right? Because again, that 4 represents one
14.
pig. So you're going to add another 4 because you have 2 pigs, as said here in the problem. And you will get an 8 legs. Okay, this is for the pig or the pigs. Next, let's go to the ducks. 3 ducks. And then for one duck, it has 2. So you're just gonna add the 2 3 times because again, the 2 here, one of the 2 here represents one duck. Number of legs for one duck. So that's why we added 3 2s. And you will get a 6 or 6 legs. This is the total for the legs of the pigs or the 2 pigs. This is for the ducks since we're just told to get the total of all the legs for these 2 animals. Then that is why we combine the 8 and 6, which gives us a sum of 14. So therefore, the answer is 14. 14 legs or 14 is okay. Next, let's proceed to number 13. What about number 13? What about this one? How many hexagons or 6-sided polygon are there below? This one is purely counting, so you have to count how many. 9. Let's try to enlarge the figure just so we could see it better. Okay, so we're told to find all the hexagon. When you say hexagon, those are polygons that have 6 sides. You know what's a side, right? From one point to another.
Nine.
Yes, from one endpoint to another. So you just try to look for a polygon here that has 6 sides. For sure, not this one because it has 4 on 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4. We also cannot see a triangle here. This one, the one that looks like a house, has 5. So eliminate that. The same with this because they're the same. The same with this one. This is actually one of the techniques that you should learn also. You have to eliminate the possible choices so that you will see more which one do you need actually. So here, oh, there's one more here. And here as well. So we only have this one right here. Look at that. All of these are six-sided. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means anyone that look exactly like this are the same, which we can count as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is how we got 9. All right, very good. Next, let's proceed to number 14. Oh, hold on. Okay. What about number 14? How many squares are there below? In the figure, how many squares can we see? 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay, most of you answered 5. Now, let's recall.
5.
Let's recall that a square is a polygon or a solid figure that has 4 equal sides, right? So anything that looks like that, we should count. In this figure right here, this one is a square. So anyone that look exactly like this are also squares. This one under, and then this one. So by looking at that, we may, yes.
Ngapain ikutan aku kamu situ main?
Yes.
Mampus Dek.
Do you have a
Ngapain kamu
question?
main sama aku?
So,
Kalau ada yang besar banget kayak dunia mami yang
I'm sorry, I'm not able to understand your language. If you can speak English, then I think that would be better. But anyway, for this one, we can have again 4. At first, look, right? We can see easily that there are 4 squares. But remember that we're talking about squares. So it's possible to have a bigger square out from the combination of small squares. And that is the entire figure, like this one. Because they're all connected together, all the sides, so they are also a square. So adding that from the 4 that we counted earlier, 4 plus 1 big square, that gives us 5. Very good. Okay, next one. What about number 15? What about this? How many smiley stickers or emoji are needed? This is emoticon. To move from the first row to the second row so that the number of the smiley emoticon are equal. Smiley face. So in the first row, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. While the second row has 4. So how many should we move? You're already told you have to move something from the first row for it to be equal to the second row. 2. Okay, so when you can actually see it here. When you move this 2 here, let's say you have that here already, that makes them equal. All right, so easy. Another way is first you count everything, the total number of the smiley faces, which is 12, and divide the 12 or separate the 12 equally into two equal numbers. So 6 plus 6, this is the only number that you can add twice to get a 12, which means each of the rows must have 6. Looking at the figure, the first one, which has more than 6, only need the first 6, which are this 2, 4, 6, which also means that the remaining 2 must be given away to the second row. Okay, so this one you don't need to do this because there's only 1 and 2 rows, but we don't know. Maybe in your exam, actual exam, there will be like 4 rows in there. So your technique should be, okay, let's give an example. Maybe. Hold on. Let me try to draw it. Okay, what about this one? Let's say you have 3 rows. How many circles do you need to move?
One.
1. Okay, for it to become equal. Very good. So only this actually. Now another way if you want to apply the technique that we had is again count all the circles, divide it by the number of rows, and then look at the rows that has more than what it needs, and the excess or the amount that they don't need, the amount of circles or objects that they don't need, that is the answer that you're looking for the specific problem. Now we're done with number 15. And hold on. Okay, let's just have our break at exactly 4 p.m. Philippine time. So let's proceed with number 16. What about this one? At least how many cubes are there in the figure? Cubes. Cubes are 3D figures.
6.
Right? 6. Okay, so you have to make sure that you count it carefully and count those that you cannot entirely see, but there's some parts that still can be seen in the picture. So counting, you have this 1, the one beside it 2, the one under 3, 4, 5, and the one here, this one. There's a small part under this one right here. So probably for sure there's also one cube right here. So counting all of that, you have 6. Also, another way is you number it so that you can monitor easily which ones you haven't counted yet. 3, 4, 5, and you can easily spot on, okay, I haven't counted the cube under number 2. So you count it also. Just try to number each cubes. Next, what about number 17? Add one match in the figure below to add 2 more triangles. This one is when you are actually answering the paper, not the online exam. So yes, add one match in the figure to add 2 more triangles. What are you gonna do? What is the 6 for? When you add the match here, for sure you're gonna do it like here, right? How many triangles were you able to make? You have to make sure that you also added 2. Where are the 2 triangles that you were able to add when you added this match? Anyone who could tell me? Where are the 2 triangles that we added after we put the matchstick? Anyone who would like to share their answer? The small right corner and the big one. Very good, Sean. Exactly. So the one triangle that we were
9.
the bottom right. Yes, exactly. So this one, we were able to add this, of course, and the whole figure. That is also a triangle, diba? Very good. I mean, very good. So if you put it like that, this whole figure can also be considered a triangle, and this small one at the uh, bottom right part is also a triangle. So counting everything, how many triangles do we have? 1, 2, 3. Where else? Bottom right and the big triangle. Yes. So this is the 3 small ones, the entire figure. And where else? Is there any other triangle? Yes, there is. The one that can be formed in the middle. So this. It's like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the total. Very good. Prince, Matthew, Eliana, and everyone who answered 5. Bottom right and the big triangle.
5.
Yes. Very good. Next one. What about number 17? I mean, number 18. According to the following pattern, fill in the blank with suitable number. 431, 431, blank 31, 431. Okay.
4.
4 for sure.
4.
Because the pattern is just this 3, 4, 3, 1. That is the pattern. You keep on repeating that same order of numbers as you go on. So 4, 3, 1. After every number once, you follow that by a 4. So the only correct answer here is 4. Very good. I think all of you will get the gold in the competition with this kind of um, readiness that you are um, presenting in the class right now. So what from number 19 anyway, what about this? Another kind of pattern. What should we fill in the empty box? We have 2 kinds of, oh no, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 kinds of figure. Although they all are triangle, there's one going up, there's one going down and darkened. There's
Up.
also one going down but transparent one, and then there's also going up and then darkened triangle. So you have to look at it carefully. Up, which one up? The darkened one or the colorless or transparent one? So let's check. We start with this one, then this, and this one. So you always check if one of that figure are being repeated. Only after this one that one of the figures are being repeated, which is this. So we went back to this. And followed by this, the same arrangement, this one.
Can I pee?
Yes, go ahead. So the pattern is just this 4. We keep on repeating this exact formation and take note of the exact figures as well to avoid confusion. So look at this. After the triangle going up, the usual triangle that you have. So it's also the darkened one. After that, it's always followed by the first figure in the pattern, which is the triangle that is not darkened or the transparent one. So that should be the right answer. Now, in the online exam, you won't encounter this specific problem only because you cannot write the figure. Okay, usually your problems would be upright white triangle. Why are you so good at describing the figures? Anyway, that's right. But for sure, you won't be given something like this. No, that should be something that you can determine in words simply. But if we have to draw, then that is the small triangle going upward without color. Next, let's proceed to number 20 and then we will have our break. What about this one? Which one of A, B, C is the missing puzzle? This is the puzzle. There's like a missing hole here in the center part. And we have to match which one of that will complete among A, B, and C. Which one is correct? A? Why A? Why A? How did you know it's A? It's actually quite tricky because most of the three are quite close. Like it's almost identical. Okay. So you can actually see that because you cannot actually fill in that specific part. It's not an actual object. 3D. No, you can do it. You have to imagine it properly. But you can also use this one. You trace the parts. Okay. So from here, you can start from the top part here. Check the three choices. Look at this one. This one is a little bit more slanted compared to here. Automatically, you can eliminate this. No? The moment you see a certain difference in even like one part, that is already out from your choices because this is a puzzle. It must fit perfectly in the figure. Next one. What about quite A and C? Look quite the same in here, in this part. But what's the difference? Look at also the shadows. Okay, so here, look at this part. Here. Okay, this one, you can see this. No? If you imagine that properly, there should be this part right here to complete that inside the missing part. If you see letter C, look at that. It's so filled here. The shadows, there's so many. And it's not gonna look like that here. If you're gonna like put it on the top of the missing part. So unlike this one, which complements. So there's like a small part here that could be here if you put that here. So it would fit correctly over here. So you also make sure that you notice those parts. Okay, those small details can give you the right answer quickly. Right, since we are already at number 20, let's have a quick break first before we continue so that we could refresh for a little while. We will be back at exactly 10 minutes. So just time yourself. We will be back at 10 minutes. In Philippine time, that's 4:15 p.m. I'll see you after the break.
Hello? Hello? You have a car. No one can hear me. Oh. I can hear you. Yeah, crush. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding.
All right. Our break time is done. So I hope everyone was able to rest for a bit before we continue with the rest of the questions for this mock review. We're done with number 20. So we'll proceed with number 21, which belongs to the third and last section of these review. Section C. What about this one? Fill in plus or minus in the box to make the math right. Scores only if both are correct. So look at that. You have to make sure that you place you place the operation correctly to get the score. What are we gonna do to get the answer here? 9 plus 4 minus 6 equals 7. 9 plus 4 minus 6 equals 7. Now, how do we solve this problem? How do we know which operation or symbol should we put first or second? So it would be hard to just guess it and just try. Now let's have a definite solution for this one. First, I know most of you are familiar, especially our Philippine participants, since you're mastered this technique already, but for the others who are not familiar yet, so to solve this kind of problem, you have a step-by-step solution. First is you're going to assume that, let's write all the numbers, and you're gonna assume that everything is addition or everything is plus here. We're gonna do something like this. Okay, we just put this number right here. So we're gonna assume first step that everything is addition. And then we're gonna perform the operation, meaning we're gonna get the value of this. How much is 9 plus 4 plus 6? That's 19. First step. Okay, step number 1. Step number 2 is you're gonna subtract. If you're going to subtract this first answer or the sum that you got in step number 1 to the actual answer in the equation, which is 7. Okay, let's do that. 19 minus 7. How much is 19 minus 7? You have 12. Okay, step number 3, and probably the last step. What we're going to do with 12 is we're going to separate it into two equal number. Or that also means you're going to divide the 12 into 2. Okay, when you say you divide a certain number into 2, you just split that number into two equal smaller number. That is actually 6. Because 6 plus 6 is equal to 12. So the number that we're looking for is 6. Now, coach, what about 6? Why do we need to do this and get that 6? Okay, we did all the steps right here so that we know which among the numbers before the equal sign will have or bear the minus sign. Okay, so since we got 6, it means we need to look for that number among 9, 4, and 6. And yes, we have a 6 right here. So that means the 6 will have the minus sign. Take note. And if this is your minus sign number or the number that has the minus sign, automatic, since we have another blank right here, we're going to put the plus because we should have the presence of these two, the plus and minus together. That is how you get the answer correctly without doing the trial and error. So now let's check if this is correct. Is 9 plus 4 minus 6 really is equal to 7? 9 plus 4 is 13 minus 6. Yes, it's equal to 7. So therefore, the step that we did is actually correct. Okay, just remember that. Any question for this problem? Yes, brain. 6 plus 6, 12. Now let's proceed to number 22.
Wait,
Yes. Any question?
I don't understand.
You don't
Yes.
understand this problem. Okay. Let's repeat it again. Now for this one, the problem is telling us to fill in the boxes with either plus or minus. So it means either of these two or both of these two. Okay. Now, some of you will maybe answer or try something like that. Just trial and error. Okay. But there's actually a way. Uh, it's the simple term for that. A way or a solution to solve this and then get the right answer. The solution will tell us or tells us which number will have the minus sign. Okay, so let's go back. What is the solution again? Step number one. Step number one, assume that this is all plus. This is all addition. That's part of our solution. Step number one. So 9 plus 4. Again, we just assumed. Okay, we didn't say this is the actual operations. And then, of course, we're going to solve our addition expression. 9 plus 4 plus 6, that is 19. Step number 2 of our solution. We're going to minus the 19, the sum that we got from step number 1, to the actual answer of your equation, this one above. What's the actual answer? 7. So we're going to subtract it from here, from 19. How much is 19 minus 7? That is 12. We're not done yet. There's still step number 3. Step number 3 is you're going to divide the 12 into 2. Or you're going to split the 12 into two the same numbers. So you find a number that you can add twice to get a 12. That is when you add 6 and another 6. So we added the same number twice and we get 12. That means the number that we're looking for is 6. Now, what does this 6 means again? This number will have the minus sign among the numbers in the left side of the equation. Minus sign. So let's go back to our equation. 9 blank 4 blank 6 equals 7. We know already that the number 6 will have the minus sign. Now, therefore, automatic, this is a plus sign. Okay? That is how we got the answer. We're able to get it. Just practice it all over again. Now, why plus, teacher? Okay, you try. You put here also another minus. You check if it will really end with 7. So 9 minus 4 minus 6. That's 4 and 6. That's 10. That's smaller. 9 is smaller than 10. It will not give you a sum of 7 or an answer of 7. So that is wrong. If you put the plus here, which usually the case, if there's one number already that you put a minus sign before it, the other remaining box that is empty, that needs to be filled with a sign as well, must be the other option, which is the plus. That's 9 plus 4, which is 13, minus 6. And then we got the 7. Okay, so after our review, try to watch this part of our lecture over and over again to master this technique for the specific problem. I think there's one more of this. What about number 22? Fill in plus or minus in the box again to make the math right. What is the answer for number 22? 5, 2, 5 equals 8. Sorry. Let's do the same thing with number 21. We're going to do the step-by-step solution again. We'll assume that all the numbers will have a plus sign. 5 plus 2 plus 5 equals, of course, it's not going to equal to 8. So let's just write this down. And then we're going to solve for this. Hold on, give me a minute. I just have to put my cat somewhere else. I will be back for a moment, okay? All right, now let's continue this one. 5 plus 2 plus 5, that's 12. No, 2 5s is 10 plus 2, that's 12. Step number 2, subtract the sum that you got from step number 1 with the answer from the actual equation. So 8. 12 minus 8 would be equal to 4. Now, what's the step number 3? Again, for step number 3, you have to split the 4 into 2 equal numbers. So again, we need to find the number that we can add twice or 2 times to get the 4, which the only possible number is 2. 2 plus 2 is going to be equal to 4. So the number that we got here in our solution is 2. What does this number 2 means again? It means this specific number, we have to find it among the numbers here, which is there's actually 2 there, and that number will have the minus sign. Minus sign. So where's the 2? Here it is. After the 5. So 5 minus 2. And again, automatic, the rest is already a plus. And check if this is correct. Is 5 minus 2 plus 5 equals 8? Look, 5 plus 5, that's 10. Minus the 2, that's equal to 8. Or 5 minus 2, that's 3. Plus the 5, that is equal to 8. So that is how we know that the placement of the operations are correct. Very good. Next one, let's proceed to number 23. What about this? What is the smallest 4-digit number formed by 3591? Use each number only once. Smallest 4-digit number. Okay. Let's check your answers. 1359. Very good. So this one, you have to put all the digits together because you're making a number, a 4-digit number. So when you say smallest, to make the smallest possible 4-digit number, you have to place the smallest number or digit here at the leftmost part of your number. So the first number that we're going to put here from the left is the smallest number, which is 1 among the choices. Continue that. Second smallest, which is 3. Next is 5, and then the 9. This is now your smallest 4-digit number. And we also have 4 choices only, so it's easier to solve this one. Very good. Next, what about number 24? For number 24, it says which number below is the largest? Is it 2017, 2017, 2017, 2016, 2016, 2017, 2016, 2016, or 2016, 2016? Which one is the largest number? Now, to determine the value of a number, especially multi-digit numbers, to determine which one is larger among the other, all you need to look at first. Okay, take note of this. First is you count the number of digits. Number of digits. So if you're comparing numbers, make sure that the first thing that you're going to look at is how many digits are there in each of the numbers that I'm comparing, because that's the biggest difference that they can have. Let's say, for example, 10 versus 100. We're comparing two numbers. 100 has 3 digits, while 10 has 2 digits only. So when you're comparing, which one is larger among the two? I mean, between the two. So for sure, I'm gonna say 100 because it has more digits. So remember that the more the digits in the number, the bigger its value or the larger its value. That's the first thing that we're going to check. Are all the numbers have the same number of digits? Yes. They all have 8. Look at that. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and 4 here. The same. I mean 8 in total. So we cannot use this comparison. But you have to check this first thing. Okay? When you're comparing numbers, this is the first thing that you have to check. Now, you can skip that if all of them have the same number of digits. Next factor is the actual value of the digits. So you're going to compare starting from the leftmost part of each numbers. So here, you'll start with the first numbers from the left. They all have the same, so you cannot compare that. Proceed to the next number. Still from the left, so 0, 0, 0, 0. We can compare that. Their third number, 1, 1, 1, 1. We cannot compare that, so skip. Now, in the fourth number, there is a difference from like 2. There are 2 different values that we have, 7 and 6. Now remember what we're looking for? Largest. So eliminate those that have 6 in their fourth digit. Why? Because we already know that that's not going to be the largest anymore. There's 7 and that is 6. So it's smaller. So there's no chance that among these two or between these two is the correct answer. Our 2 options left are this 2 given here. 2017, 2017, 2017, 2016. Now, we cannot compare again the 7s because they're the same. Proceed to the next digit. 2, cannot compare because they're the same. 0, 0, 1 and 1, still the same. Now, the last digits of each number are different. We have the 6 and the 7. So comparing these two, which one is larger? Of course, that would be 7. Therefore, our winner here, in terms of the largest, is this one. So you really have to check each digits in the number just to make sure that you're comparing it correctly. Okay, because sometimes it might trick you or your eyes might trick you with the numbers or the digits. So make sure that you check it properly like that. Next, what about number 25? Oh, this one. Which one is the lightest? Is it the circle, the triangle, or the square? Based on the figure. Square. Really? Is it not the triangle or the circle? Anyone who would like to share how they got the answer for number 25? Why is it square? Anyone? How did you know it's square?
It's because some
Yes, Jared.
it's because if there's so many, it's the magaan. So in the first group, the many is the circle, and in the second group is square. So the answer is square.
Wow, very good. Exactly. Thank you so much, Jared, for sharing your answer. Can definitely tell that you learned and you were listening throughout the review from the past sessions of the Big Baby. Now, for our international students, what Jared meant was to determine which figure is the lightest or the heaviest. You just have to look at that specific figure and count how many of that are there. The more you see of a certain figure, the less its weight or the lighter it is. Okay, for example, it says 3 circles is equal to 2. Think about that. You need 3 circles to balance only 2 of the triangle. That means, in terms of 1 circle and 1 triangle, the triangle is heavier because you only need 2. So the more the number of a certain figure or shape, the lesser or the lighter its weight in terms of just 1:1 comparison. Okay, next. So we know already that between the circle and the circle is lighter compared to the triangle. Let's proceed to the second balance. Look at the balance, it's equal, so it means the left and the right side has an equal weight. Here, you have 2 squares and only 1 circle. So the same here, square is lighter than the circle. Now, how are we going to rank the figures now? We know that the circle is lighter than the triangle, but there's another figure that's lighter than the circle, which is the square. So all you need to do is look at this. We can put the circle as the lightest because there's another object that's actually lighter than it, which is the square. So square is the lightest, followed by the circle, and finally followed by the triangle. So this is their correct arrangement in terms of lightest. So therefore, the lightest is the square. That's how you got it. Okay, just remember circle and triangle, triangle are lighter, triangle and square, square is lighter. So square is the lightest. Very good, Sean. That's also true. So just look at your comparisons carefully. Again, circle is lighter than another figure, but there's another figure that's lighter than it, which is the square. That's how we rank them. What about number 26? What about this? Fill in the box with a symbol to make the equation correct. Symbol? That's not symbol, that's a number. What number should we fill into the equation? 15 plus blank equals 22. Okay, know your answers? Seven. So it should not be symbol here, it should be a number. Okay. So 7, look at the equation. There's most probably you'll encounter this or the other way, okay? If you see an equation that has an arrangement like this and the operation is plus, all you need to do is
7.
subtract the two given numbers. Subtract the two given that are there already. 22 minus 15. That is 7. Because basically, you're just looking for the other addend to be paired with 15 to get a 22 because it's addition. That's why we subtracted the 15 from the 22. And we got 7. And of course, make sure to check your answer if that really makes the equation correct. 15 plus 7 is indeed 22. So that is how we got 7 as our answer. Next one, what about number 27? For number 27, how many circles are there in the figure? It's quite the same with number 1. What's your answer for this one? For sure, you learned already how to count this smartly, right? Observe the figures.
30.
30. 13? 30? Okay, 30. Now observe the figures and notice that there are again certain group of circles that are being put together.
It's 20.
20.
It's 20. Hindi
Okay.
30.
Let's check. Let's count. So again, they're grouped. This part, we know they're grouped because they're close together. It's like a bond. So here, and then this one, they're all the same. Now counting the number of circles for each of the groups that we have here, they all have 4. So this was 4, this is 4. Here is also 4. This one has 4 circles and this one. So to count all the circles, you just need to add all the 4s that we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 4 times 5. Or, again, you add the 4 5 times because there are 5 groups that has 4 circles inside. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 is equal to 20. The same as 4 times 5, which is equal to 20. So you don't have to count all of them one by one anymore to get the correct answer. Next one. What about number 20, not 28? Arrange the number from largest to the smallest. For example, 879 is rearranged to 987. What's the correct arrangement for this? Prince, take note of the commas, okay? Don't forget the commas because they are separate numbers. They are different numbers, one-digit numbers in this case. Yes, very good to those who are writing it properly. Don't forget about the comma after each number because that indicates that, there are different numbers and we should do that. Arrange the numbers from largest. So we just have to look for the largest numbers among the ones that are here, and that is 8. Right? The largest one-digit number is 9, followed by 8. So we don't have a 9, we have the 8. Let's get it. Next after 8 is 7. Next after 7 is 6. There's no 6, but we have the next one, which is 5. Supposedly, you should follow by 4, but there's no 4 in the choices. There's also no 3. So we're going to go directly with 2 and then 1. Now, this is the proper arrangement of the numbers if we have to arrange them from largest to the smallest. So 8, 7, 5, 2, and 1. Make sure again when you input it during the competition, you put a comma every after number. Next, what about number 29? What about this? Add one match in the figure to add two more squares. This is quite the same with the problem earlier with triangle, right? This time it's a square.
5.
Where are we gonna put the match?
At the top right.
Top right, very good. So the top right most part over here. So we're gonna put one match and that completes this figure. So that's automatically one big square. And we actually added another small one when we put that matchstick there. So that's how you got two more squares. Now counting all the squares together, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the biggest one. So 5. All in all, we have 5 squares. Very good. Next, and last problem. What about number 30? Fill in the blank with a number to match the pattern. 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1 blank, 2, 1, 3, 2. What's the correct number to be placed in the blank or in the space? 3. So the pattern is
3.
3. I mean, the pattern is this 1, 3, 2. 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2. That's the order of the numbers in your series. So you just have to follow that.
1, 3, 2.
1, 3, 2. Every after digit or number 1, it is always going to be followed by a 3. And that's how we know that the next number here should be 3. Very good. Any questions or clarifications? Was there any problem that you found hard to solve or difficult to solve? None at all? I think, okay. I think no one has an no. I like the confidence, Jared. Okay, that's great. Now, since you don't have any questions, we're going to end our review right here. But before that, I would like to ask for a group photo with you all since this is just our one-time mock review session. If you can turn on your cameras, please do so that we can take our group photo together. Okay.
Spider-Man.
What about Morgan?
Logan. I don't know Logan. No.
There are some who haven't turned on their cam yet, so let's wait for a bit.
Maybe I'm just going to do the Spider-Man. I'm gonna do Spider-Man too.
Okay, so let's just take the photo right now in count of 1, 2, 3.
Hey!
Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3.
Hey!
Okay, one last. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for attending.
Thank you, teacher. Bye. 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 Thank you, teacher. Bye.
Thank you. No problem. Goodbye. Good luck on your competition and do your best, okay? Goodbye. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Love you.
I love you too. Goodbye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, Prince. Vivian.
Bye, teacher.
Thank you, MSK. God bless you as well. Bye-bye. Go ahead. You can leave the meeting now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Timothy, Kitty Not, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.